All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. Thank you for the raid, as always. V, do appreciate it. We're back with some Darker Stars. Last time, we wrapped up a mission involving some Necrons, some Chaos Forces, stealing back a Necron array from individuals. And yeah, you were successful. We did a quick flash forward to in the after action report. One of the other Marine captains for the Death Watch was talking to your captain and basically said, "Hey, remember that time on that one planet? Let's not talk about that. These Space Marines you're working with, they're moving over to my watch." And that was that. So you wrap up on Vanity and get back to Rameus. Rameus congratulates you. Doesn't seem too upset about the delay and everything, even though that was kind of a bit of a problem. Sister Ash.
It all worked out in the end.
It all worked out in the end. That's fine. That's great. And loads you into her Shadowhawk transport and heads out from there. On the way back to the orbiting vessel where your now former watch captain is, you are also informed that you are being requisitioned into Rameus's envoy, which is also separate from being part of the Dread Collegia. So you are being moved into not just a position underneath Captain Matthias, but you are also being moved into Rameus's retinue. Now this might strike some thoughts and some memories there. Very recently, Rameus came back from the Slenard Rift, had set up a very heavy campaign to go in there. And of the retinue that went in, including a dreadnought, only 7 people came back.
Including the dreadnought?
Well, the dreadnought didn't make it back, but the casket did.
No.
The Forever Box did, so that dreadnought is still around, such as it is. And all of those Marines were put into the Reclusarium and are undergoing penitence and purification. They haven't seen.
Is that shorthand for re-education?
Maybe. It's also shorthand for scouring and lots of "Are you full of taint? Please do not have the alien microbes, also not the demons." And yeah, that's something that happened pretty recently, maybe 10 or 15 years ago.
And they're still in the Reclusium?
Yeah, they absolutely are.
What the fuck did they run into?
That's a great question. They were also Rameus's retinue.
I blame Sam Neill for this.
Yeah, I
Sam
mean,
Neill for this.
yes.
That's who were were those guys replacements?
I see.
What's gone on in the 10 to 15 years interim time that we don't even see what happened to those guys?
This is like when you become like a new apprentice to Emperor Palpatine, and you're like, well, the last 3 guys did okay.
All I'm seeing is Futurama. We're the new delivery crew, because the other ones died horribly on B Planet. Yeah.
Or like Fry's Assassin's Assassin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm also getting the feeling of like, welcome to Starfleet. Here's your red shirt.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Oddly enough, in TNG, or sorry, in the original series,
Yeah. Red was
statistically,
command.
you are more likely to die in a blue shirt, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there weren't as many blue shirts deployed. You just saw more red shirts die, or something.
Makes sense.
Such is life.
Such is life.
But yeah, that is what you've been informed is the dealio. This is not a request.
Yeah.
There is maybe one other thing that would come to mind. If you've got lore Death Watch, go ahead and throw it for me at -30.
I do.
Everyone should.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
-30, you said?
Negative
So
30.
is that like a D100?
You should just be able to click the skill on there, bud.
Where is that skill?
It's on the
It's under
right hand
lore.
side.
Right side.
Oh, there's lore. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So Vraska does not know shit.
Minus
Ash doesn't know
30.
shit.
I really don't know anything.
Oh,
Don't know shit.
I don't even know what the Death Watch is. What am I doing here?
It do be like
Oh,
that.
there it is.
who are you? Where am I?
Minus
God.
30. Ah, fuck.
Off to a
Things
great
haven't been the
start.
same since I hit my head.
Yeah. Let's
If only we had our librarian.
your librarian is there. I'm gonna throw for him real quick. Cause I'm not gonna be an asshole. Oh, wow.
Sorry. And here I thought
Okay.
that was the stupid one.
Rolling
So-
migraines.
So what we've learned from this is don't let soul roll for you. Nothing untoward and nothing bad will come of this.
I think our
Soul rolls for
librarian
thee,
fried
but
their
not for
brains
me.
too many times, you know?
That's when you're blowing people's backs out. Forget to hydrate.
Jesus Christ.
Oh dear.
Oh.
That's such a that those two sentences you just said was like an onion. There's just so many layers.
Layers, yeah.
So
So many layers of pain.
So
thanks, Dylan.
Wasn't it?
So we've only been training with the Death Watch for how long? We don't know shit about it. That's amazing.
well, this is one of those like sideways rumor like thing. It was a difficult role. It's not surprising you failed, but there is some more fuckery with Romeus involving that. You just don't know about it.
It's not surprising you failed is the name of my autobiography.
It's not surprising. Oh, that's good. So we've got a player handout for the characters here. You spend the next year or two in the Iron Bastion, which is part of the Dread Collegia's network. It's actually the central hub.
God, what the hell?
You okay?
Saliva went down the wrong pipe. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Weren't even drinking anything, were you?
I fucking rolled a 1 on swallowing.
You're good. You're good.
I think you rolled a 100 because if it was a 1, it wouldn't have.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's true. Critical success. Are you good, buddy?
I'm alive.
All right, I'm gonna put your camera back on for you. There
Despite
you
my
go.
body's best attempt to kill me.
Like I was saying, the Dread Collegia has established a major watch station of its own. Not on the scale of Watch Fortress Ariok, but sizable enough that it actually is one of the few watch stations not just constantly manned, but it is constantly crewed by at least a dozen Space Marines. This is really, really uncommon. Most of the watch stations in Jericho Reach don't have any Space Marines. Most of them, well, a good portion of them don't have anyone actually there. It's all automated servitors or cogitators. The Iron Bastion is not just staffed, it's fully crewed by Space Marine, like a full, like, set of Space Marines are always there.
Like 100?
No, up to a dozen.
Oh,
Like
so
a
that's a lot.
coterie?
A good squad.
A squad.
But considering most of these don't have anyone, that's actually kind of scary. One of the things with the Iron Bastion is it is fairly unique in not just its crew complement, but also its hardware, so to speak. Of all of the watch stations that are in Jericho Reach, it is the one that has the best intelligence and Auspex arrays. So most of these watch stations are basically Hubble telescope strapped with a couple of very sad servitors orbiting in the middle of fucking nowhere. They're watching these planets, they're hoping for the best, and really just checking everything out. This one is able to watch planets that aren't in its system. And it's networked in with watch stations all throughout Jericho Reach. This is an intelligence hub unparalleled in the Death Watch. And this is where you hang out for a year or two. You are put under further hypno-indoctrination, you hone your skills, you find more depth of your roles, and you find your place within the Dread Collegia. How you come to terms with this, how you come to terms with being moved over, that's up for you to decide as players. You do also spend some time on the Dread Collegia's other asset, the Forever Hold. The Forever Hold is a Cobra-class destroyer. It is a little bit of a dodge, by which I mean it skirts Imperial law. So, the Death Watch really maintains a lot of view over things that are pretty sketchy from like Xenoheresy and Xenotech. You can't just sit on those artifacts. They have to be stored, put away, or transported somewhere. And when they are put away, they're actually put away. Yeah, they're stored and you can't access them. The Forever Hold is a little bit of an administratum chicanery. It's kind of like how certain Space Marine legions get away with the 1,000 members, unless you're on a crusade. Well, simple. We'll just always be on a crusade. The Dread Collegia gets away with holding on to an ass ton of Xenotech heresy by always moving it on the Forever Hold. It's never actually stored. It's always in transit, funny enough.
I understand.
The Forever Box, the Forever Hold. I'm sensing a pattern, a very dark pattern, and I'm not a
Yes.
fan.
There's a dark pattern too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in there.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
fun.
right there. It says-
I do need to change some of the language on here because it still does reference the old name that I'm not a fan of. I like Dread Collegia better than the old one. Yeah, they safeguard artifacts. They've got a whole ton of Eldar and Necron info. Just nonsense upon nonsense. Romeus had it commissioned 75 years ago, and the pilot of it is one Inquisitor Grawl. They're not part of the Dread Collegia officially, which is another one of those administratum dodges. Oh yeah, the Dread Collegia? Yeah, we actually don't have any of those artifacts. They're on the Forever Hold. Inquisitor Grawl is moving them around for us. Where is he moving them to? Well, you'd have to talk to Inquisitor Grawl. You talk to Inquisitor Grawl, Grawl's like, I don't know, you got to talk to Inquisitor Romeus. Oh, suddenly you're down in subsection C trying to talk to a glitching out servitor about where the requisition forms are for the 12th time this week.
It's like Section 31 in Star Trek. It doesn't
Yeah.
like officially exist.
Exist.
Yeah.
So you do spend some time on the Forever Hold, getting familiar with it. You know, it's a Cobra-class destroyer. For those of you that aren't aware, this is not a small ship. It's, I think, close to 2 kilometers long. It's got a staff of, I think, 16 or 18,000 aboard, and maybe at any given moment, 3 or 4 Space Marines. And Inquisitor Romeus is not often on the Forever Hold. She is normally on one of her other conveyances, which aren't really talked about. Shadowhawk transports are pretty common for her to use, other things like that. So, along the way, you do get to know some of the other members of the Dread Collegia, predominantly the major NPCs. Now, the Dread Collegia itself is understaffed. The Death Watch is organized as a legion, and your watch captain should have 100 Space Marines at beck and call, but Matthias only has about 40 or 50 at most. That's difficult. A lot of the reason for that is political. There's only so many people that are seconded to the Death Watch. The Death Watch itself is not really at full strength because, well, they're often the asshole of the universe in Jericho Reach. And they're spread out all over the place. Plus, the Achilles Crusade is draining a lot of their numbers. A lot of Space Marines are here, but they are not part of the Death Watch. They're part of the Crusade. Considering that the Dread Collegia is not favored by the Death Watch proper, they're seen as paranoid conspiracy theorists, kooks, or dangerous heretics. Matthias getting members is a little bit difficult, hence why the kind of quiet threat to your former captain about, we know shit about your past that you don't want to get out, you're going to give us these fucking Marines. So that explains why you're there. Along the way, though, let's look at some of the NPCs. Hey, there's that lisp. Awesome. Of course, we've seen Inquisitor Romeus, so we'll jump to the Watch Captain. Watch Captain Matthias. Sons of Medusa. So, yeah, a little bit of an uncommon one there. Had a fascination with the Inquisitor and also Eldar stuff, and got drawn into studying the Dark Pattern. From there, became a little bit of a zealot and pushed his way to Watch Captain status. He is a very solid commander. Very much wants to back all of the Marines underneath him, and wants to see someone succeed him. Because there is a prophecy that speaks possibly of his death soonish in regards to the Dark Pattern. And he wants to make sure that once he goes out, the Dread Collegia still has a Watch Captain working for it. But along the way, he is willing to flex his political might to help out anyone under his command. He will play politics for his troops, but he won't play politics for himself, which puts him at a little bit of a disadvantaged position at large. But what power he does have, he normally spends it on the people that work with him. Overall, not a bad person to have as a Watch Captain. Very much. You have a question?
Yeah, so Sons of Medusa and Iron Hands, they nearly had like a civil war.
Just a little bit of a...
Yeah, a little schism.
Snafu, one might say.
Our Iron Hand are they under any sort of like, I don't know, stress or targeting or
By Matthias?
yeah?
No,
Okay.
not a bit.
Okay. I'm just watching out for my boy, you know.
Okay, I have a question. I really love how it's going to go from. Okay, so here's some background lore, and I want to just make sure that this tracks in this here. So are prophecies actually a thing in
Yes.
Warhammer? Like, and they're real?
Yes.
They also come about roundabout in like weird ways too.
Classic prophecy stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the Primarchs literally could see into the future.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. Okay, that answers
Yeah.
my
Conrad
unfortunate
Kurz could see his
question.
own death, which is why he was so screwed up.
Well, that's one of the reasons why he was so screwed
yeah,
up.
he was also Batman.
Sounds like a pretty good reason to.
I'm true. Speaking of Iron Hands, just to give you a little bit of the background on how chill Matthias is, I've just pulled up another NPC in Roll20 if you want to look at Master of the Forge Zeril. So Forge Masters are tech marines that have gone above and beyond, and they have their shit on lock. This is the equivalent of the Watch Captain, like, getting his shit done type on lock. Master of the Forge Zeril is Iron Hands.
Let's go.
Matthias does not hold a grudge, and he does not expect it from anyone else. You are part of the Death Watch, you get that shit out of your system, or you will fucking die.
Yep. There's plenty of valid targets for your hatred.
Yep. Pick a new one. Pick a new one. Zeril is incredibly cybernetically augmented. There's very little of this homie that is not Robot. They have uncovered numerous secrets over the time they've been here. They've been in the Death Watch 80 years, which is a long time. Most
So
people
he's
More
don't.
machine than man now.
Probably gonna just be there forever.
Yeah, he's pretty much become part of the Death Watch. He's not quite resigned his oaths to the Iron Hands, but they're like, don't bother coming back, homie. You just hang out over there, buddy.
They probably don't have a compatible charger for him over there.
No, I mean, no.
He's gone to
It's all
Lightning.
micro
They've
USB.
upgraded to USB 3C.
He's on that Necron standard. He's been part of the Death Watch for a long time, and he's also been part of the Dread Collegia for 50 years. He ended up recovering several Eldar Spirit Stones and thinks they're cool trinkets, and is trying to understand them. He's dedicated his time to studying artifacts. In addition to the Eldar stuff, he is one of the, if not the, premier expert on Necron technology. Not just in the Dread Collegia, not just in the Death Watch, but...
Period.
Well, I mean, outside of Necrons.
Jesus Christ. By the throat.
Okay.
He has been sending some... You would know maybe some of this. Actually, as you're inducted into the Dread Collegia, Zeril would let you know about something he's doing. Vraska, he is sending encrypted messages back to his chapter containing research information, which is why they're letting him stay there. The Death Watch is keeping him, and the Dread Collegia quietly sanctions and condones this information.
The Dread Collegia sounds like the kind of people who would know that he's sending encrypted information and just be like, yeah, man, as long as you're quiet about it, we don't actually care.
They would actually encourage it. They want people to know this stuff.
Don't make it our problem.
Right.
Don't make me have to take it to my boss and my boss's boss. Just keep doing it, okay?
Help me help you.
Help me help you. Exactly.
The only thing going against Zeril being a fun character is he's a giant asshole.
Yeah.
Like an enormously cold, callous prick.
I mean, you're talking about an Iron Hand with a warm personality? Okay.
Yeah, find one, right?
Yeah.
He was drafted in as well personally by Romeus, so handpicked. These are all, by the way, in the handouts side, so if you ever want to look at them in another time, you can grab them up. You have already met Night Warden Alric, the Terminator, Black Shield. Just as a reminder, he is a kind of a knight errant, but not the Marines errant. He travels around and kicks ass, generally found in the thick of it, normally watching out for the newer members of the Dread Collegia.
I kind of really like Auric. He seems really cool.
He is also... I don't want to say he's above rank and station, but he doesn't really pay it much mind. He treats every single one of the members of the Dread Collegia and the Death Watch as peers, which
That's one of the reasons I love him so much.
which can be a little bit of a problem when dealing with superiors, and it can be a really big advantage when dealing with people that are technically not on his quite level. Which, considering he is one of the deadliest members of the Dread Collegia, yeah, there's not a lot of people on that level.
It's like the champion, right?
He's not the champion because companies don't really have champions.
Okay.
And there is a champion for the Death Watch proper, but it would be a throw of the dice exactly who would win in that. He's definitely the baddest motherfucker in the Dread Collegia, though.
Okay.
But in the My Dad Could Beat Up Your Dad segment, he's a good pick.
He's a good pick. He's a good pick.
So who
He's a good
is
dad.
the champion? For the,
I would
the Death
have
Watch?
to. I would have to drag that information up. I don't have it on hand right at the
So
ready.
so it's not important at the moment.
At the moment, no. We're focusing mostly on the Dread Collegia. I will get to some of the Death Watch characters here in a moment, because there are some that are important. Last but not least, of the major named NPCs, we have Prognosticator Renan Triel. They are Silver Skulls.
Oh.
That is a little bit of a named conjure by. They are spooky Marines.
Yeah, they spooky.
And they're kind of like that, but not. We could get into what the Silver Skulls are known for, but just trust that they're a little on the spooky side.
Well, I'm interested now.
Yeah, well, go on a lore dive on your own time, damn it.
Okay.
But DM, it's your job.
No,
Please
it's
don't.
fair.
Please don't
It's fair.
actually like punish me for that. I know it's not, and I know I deserve it.
No. Triel was on the eastern fringe of the Imperium well before joining the Death Watch. They had a stalemate against the Tau. They were sent to investigate a dead world the Tau had already avoided. While on the planet, they were ambushed by Eldar raiders. The Silver Skulls suffered significant losses. They managed to retreat, though, and regroup, with Triel's interest in the Eldar growing stronger. They're an invaluable ally and mentor for any member of the Dread Collegia. That's beyond just librarians, even though Triel is a librarian. He has, however, not really been getting along with Zeril. They're not exactly opposite sides of the warmth spectrum, but Prognosticator Triel is definitely more charming and amiable than Zeril, and also Zeril is really fucking fanatic about Xenos tech, and Triel is honestly kind of the voice of reason for some of that. But they do have a problem. Triel is a little bit obsessed about the Eldar. They've found something out about the Dark Eldar, and they're working on a mission deep within the Dark Pattern to see about how that impacts things. So this would be bantered around when it deals with the 7 that are in the Reclusarium, because that was one of those like, hey, let's go off into this really dangerous place that the Dread Collegia is thinking that's maybe connected to the Dark Pattern. That ended well. And then Triel's like, but what if we went to this place? It's like, brother! No.
And he brings back an artifact. You find out it's just a sex swing.
I mean,
God
when
damn,
isn't it?
Dark Eldar.
Damn Dark Eldar.
Come on.
So those are your major NPCs for the Dread Collegia. Do you have any questions or impressions you'd like to share?
It seems just like a cadre of a bunch of wild and crazy, interesting individuals. We're fucked, aren't we?
Yeah, super fucked.
I would like to become friends with the Forge Master.
Okay. That's not going to happen.
Can I be friends with Elric?
Yeah.
That's
I also
more
feel
likely
like
to
Ash
happen.
is pretty
Hell
drawn
yeah.
to Alric.
Alright.
Can I ask Zeril for a mastercrafted power sword?
You always can ask. He will tell you no, and when he does get you one, he will shove it up your ass. No, if we want to do some,
At least I know
Some
I'm
little-
gonna die.
yeah, if we want to do some little story spin-offs with that, we can do that in a second. I'd like to get through the other NPCs though, because these are kind of interesting. You already have met Watch Captain Blackthorn. This is your former Watch Captain. You still have some connection with him, but it's probably strained, especially after a year or two of being, like, super conditioned by the Dread Collegia. But,
Also, his intel was shitty and nearly got us all killed.
well, you know,
True.
True, but he was on the level. He tried. He
He's
did
a White
his
Scar
best.
and I'm a Raven Guard, so I don't gotta trust him for shit.
all right.
I don't know what
It'll
that
work
means.
out okay. We don't have to hold.
They have a grudge. There's always a grudge.
Twitch.
Oh, so it's Sharks versus Jets over here. Gotcha.
Yeah.
The Sharks have a grudge against everyone. I mean, they just hate everything. Vaguely
So
threatening
great
snapping.
to see them fight West Side Stories.
Just a robot hand snapping.
Meet
It's
you out by the
inevitable.
Golden Throne after school.
All the custodians are like, no, get out. All right. Let's start with one of the more moderate members that would come to your attention and just really breathing down your fucking necks. I think I shared it. Apothecary Octavian Voss. Did that show up?
It did.
Yeah. They are a Black Templar. This is one of the more moderate members that does not like the Dread Collegia. They are an apothecary. They know a lot about purity and fighting corruption and keeping Space Marines alive. And they are of a very firm belief that the Dread Collegia is screwing with xenotech that's a grave threat to, bodily integrity, purity of the soul, security of the Imperium, the Emperor's faith. Yeah, they're not really happy with the Dread Collegia. They would be a great ally if you could get them on your side, because they would be able to hook you up with the life-giving and the still breathing stuff. But they're normally the ones that are insisting on secondary checkovers, and we're going to have my team of servitors pluck literally every hair from your body and check it for genetic corruption. And
We're gonna
Also-
put you in the reclusatorium for 15 years.
yeah, that's probably a good bit of it is because of Apothecary Voss, them sitting in the reclusarium for another 5 or 10 years. He's a zealot in a way that only Black Templars can be zealots. And the worst part of it is he's probably got a point. Because you've seen some shit that the Dread Collegia is holding. And you're like, that? We're allowed to keep that? No, we're allowed to transport that. Okay. Where's it going? Back and forth? Cool.
He's a true Black Templar. He's a-
Yeah. Let's go with another brother. This one is maybe a mixed bag, maybe an ally, maybe not. Veteran brother Donald Haggith. They are a, what is it? Marines Errant, I think? Yeah.
I like their armor.
Yeah, it's a sick paint job. I would never want to paint it, but... they are the one that set up Watch Fortress Ariok's hunting grounds. Watch Fortress Ariok is massive. Truly a giant, like, sepulchral fucking superstructure in space. And, like, the lower third of it is dedicated to these artificial ecologies set up with just hunting grounds, where you can go hunt down Xenos in their natural environment. So if you ever want to chase Tau screaming across the battlefield but don't have any at hand, contact veteran brother Haggith. He is a little bit push-pull, though. He opposes the Dread Collegia because he doesn't like your unorthodox methods, doesn't like the utilization of Xenotech, knows that that can go really fucking wrong. But off the books, he actually is pretty... He admires the dedication to learning, because that's why he set up the hunting fields. We got to learn about the Xenos. We have to fight them. Go capture some. We'll go fight them here. And also, he is a little bit envious and jealous that the Dread Collegia goes out and fights the weirdest shit. Because the Dread Collegia goes into the weird places and chases down spooky rumors and conspiracies, and that gets you some weird shit. And he's like, damn, I wish I had killed that. That'd been cool.
So he's veteran brother Robert Muldoon. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
When
I don't get that
Sorry.
reference.
Jurassic
It's
Park.
the director,
Oh.
it's the clever girl guy.
Yep. He is known to offer insights and basically meet at the cantina, have a couple drinks, and talk about killing Xenos. Normally, he'll show up before a mission, offer a couple of tips or bits of advice, maybe ask, if there are any prisoners, just remember me when you get back, boys. Type deal. He also will...
Sorry.
Yeah. Well... He does sometimes push himself a little bit to acquire goods in exchange for, there's a live capture. That would be good. So he's really torn on where he sits, allegiances-wise, to the particular ideologies. Someone who is not torn, however, is Inquisitor Cassius Fell. This is probably the most problematic person that you're going to run into as the Dread Collegia members. He's spent decades hunting down heretics, chaos cultists, and Xenos infiltrators. His planet actually was overran by a gene stealer cult, including his family. And he survived. He does not fucking suffer the alien to live. And he also doesn't trust anything that can change people or corrupt them and make them untrustworthy. He's got a little bit of the PTSD from that. What would the Tyrannid stick in his family?
Sounds really objective.
So I'm feeling a big old chip on the shoulder towards ye old dread Caligia, eh?
Question.
I have an answer.
Is that a fucking chaos symbol on his sword?
Yep.
Yep. I did not edit that. My apologies.
Okay. I was just gonna ask if he has a demon sword.
He might. He might not.
It is a chainsaw sword.
That's the chain sword. That's the good stuff.
The hilt and the handguard kind of looks like that weird dragon sword from the 2000 Dungeons and Dragons movie. Is that like too niche a reference?
No.
Oh, it is
I get that
not.
one.
Casual Profion enjoyers rise up.
Anyways, he is a giant asshole. He is always in everyone's business, either directly or indirectly. One of the reasons why he is often kind of alongside the Dread Collegia, though, is unfortunately Inquisitor Cassius Fel has one of the best spy networks in Jericho Reach. Like, actual human spies. And his assassin contacts are amazingly well polished as well. So, if you need intel, it's probably at some point coming from this asshole. But he's also probably inserting spies into the Iron Bastion or the Forever Hold. You know, getting
Put
servitors
him in
in.
a forever box.
Put him in a. He's not worthy. He's not worthy of the Forever Box. A waste of a Forever Box. Those
Put
things
him
are
in a
expensive.
penitent engine, though. It'll be
Right?
fine. Yeah.
Strap him to the mech.
We have the technology. We don't have the money.
If you survive, you're innocent.
We'll put him in one of those Tau suits.
Bet he'll love that.
That's great. So those are your major players in the Death Watch who you're going to be bumping into pretty routinely. Yep. An apothecary, they're going to be checking you out because they can be like, oh, nope, you got to get checked out. You got to get probed. Brother. Not the probe. Yes, the heavy probe. And the Inquisitor, of course, is going to be watching and managing most shit. You generally won't have to deal with Fel. It's more going to be on the admin side. Matthias will, Romeus will, maybe Prognosticator Triel will, but you would probably not deal with him too much, which is good, I guess. But indirectly, you are. The veteran brother, Hagath, you know, good source of intel on Xenos, also probably going to be hitting you up for like, hey, can you go capture me at Carnifex? No, I fucking can't. What about a Lictor? Are you high? So all the Tyranid beasties getting captured would be his dream day, but no. Yeah, that's been your last 1 or 2 years, checking things out, learning things, being indoctrinated, getting your hypnotherapy, polishing your skills, and getting a little bit of new talents, new traits. You've all been working together because you are part of a squad. Half strength, but it is a squad. You will also learn that Matthias prefers to deploy what assets he does have in smaller amounts. He is a big fan of kill marines, single marines that are sent in to solve problems and that are used to operating alone, and also utilizing smaller half squads or fire teams, really, to enact big battlefield change, which is part of why he is selected, and well, Romeus has selected you fine folks, because you are effective, fast operators, used to working either alone or in pairs, and you're good at what you do. And you also have encountered Necrons and Chaos in the same bit. And that is a big tell. Also, Romeus may or may not know more about your backstories and histories than you're comfortable with, but that's the Inquisition. What are you going to do?
That's fair.
Now, I do want to go through real quick because there's something that I forgot to mention during the level up stage, which we did off screen. Just make sure you go in and clear any requisitioned equipment,
Okay.
because you only get that for that mission. If you need help remembering what equipment was or was not commissioned, let me know. But those, you gotta scrap it back to basics, unfortunately.
I think it's
And
just
we
a
get all of
shred
our
grenade.
runs back too, right?
Oh yeah, recover all of your wounds, recover all of your fate. Have a nice time.
Thank God.
Yep.
I
And
think I only requisitioned the Hellfire. No, that's all those rounds. Never mind.
well, you get one clip of specialty ammo for free because you're a tactical marine, but you don't have to declare that right now. You can declare that at the start of mission.
Yes.
And we're currently between missions. We're going to be doing a little bit of the role play and maybe establish some ideas here. Those of you watching at home, Kuma is normally with us. However, they are not feeling so well. They're laying down, dealing with a couple things. They'll be back soon. We did talk about what they're getting into and discuss some level up stuff. There's two different directions they're thinking about going. One is going to be more support based. The other is going to be more psychic power focused. So
Blowing more backs out. Oh, yeah.
giving them the long lance.
Oh yeah.
Either that or getting into bondage. There's a psychic power called Shackle that is absolutely ridiculously powerful. Have you looked at that, Derek?
I'm gonna have to make the joke. I'm sorry in advance, but give him that long lance in the forever box.
Yeah. After shackling them. Because that's how the Blood Angels do.
Oh yeah.
I was unclear if the long lance was a euphemism or not.
It's called the Blood Lance. That's not better.
That's
not a bit better. But just to give Derek a heads up, Shackle is a ridiculous power. If you make your power focus test, you pick an action that they can't take next turn.
What? What the fuck?
They don't get to roll. Like, they don't get to roll to resist it. You just make a focus power test. And then you're like, no psychic powers for you next turn. Or, no shooting. No, not allowed.
What the fuck?
Or, no moving. My friends are coming.
That is wild.
Wait, it gets better. You can sustain it.
Well, that's just mean.
And you can change what action they can't take every round. But if you do sustain it, it is an opposed will test. But that first one is just, can I roll underneath my will? I'm certain I can.
So you could just cast it again
You could.
instead of giving them the opposed roll.
Could.
Huh. Interesting.
It's really bad. It is in
You're giving me
games.
really bad ideas for what you guys are about to be
Yeah,
fucking facing. I'm not
that's
gonna
fine.
lie to you.
Hey, I'll remind
Yeah.
you. I still have the heavy. I still have a heavy bolter. I have heavy las. I have storm bolter. It'll be fine.
yeah.
And also, more importantly, I have my slaughter siblings.
True.
That's where it's at. But no, it's a ridiculous power. I've not seen that powerful of, like, crowd control given to characters in a TTRPG, like, very much ever, and you can get it at first level. It's like, I would like to pick up Shackle. Okay.
That's crazy. Wow.
I would like to shut down that opponent there. Cool. Huh. Well. As the GM, you're just like, well. Okay.
Now.
I really, as a GM, I really do love abilities that make me just go,
Huh.
Okay, so now what? So what do you do now? Like, I've got nothing I can say about that. It's great. Maybe I'm just lazy. I don't like rolling dice. I don't like describing. It's just you guys play the game. I'll be over here drinking coffee. It'll be fine.
Yeah. You tell me what happens actually.
Come on, you know that's one of my favorite things to do.
No, for sure.
So that's kind of where they're going. We should probably touch base on what new skills or abilities you've developed over the last year or two, so that everyone knows what they can do. Because you would have been training together. You would have gone on minor missions together, just to keep things brushed. So Let's start with Dan and Sister Ash. I kind of want to start there.
So we have buffed her ballistic skill, so easier to hit targets. We have buffed her perception skill, so more awareness, but also more damage, because that's a skill I have. Concealment has gone up, so I am sneakier, and I would like to. I need to remember to utilize that more. I in my first level build with my experience, I also buffed silent move, so I need to use both of those a little bit more. To be sneaky and use the thing where one of my core class abilities is it's hard to detect me when I fire, and I can do really dumb angled shots from not even seeing them. So I need to start exploiting that if I'm gonna heavy lean into this sniper thing. And I also took the skills Rapid Reload and Pilot Personal, which I think gives me jump. You said because this was I'm very grateful for the suggestion, because I was floundering with my last 400 XP. Gives me jump pack abilities.
It will allow you to use a jump pack. You will have to requisition it
Yes.
or pick it up as signature war gear at some point. But having a jump pack on your sniper is nice, because not only does it allow you to get places easier, but it's also in those strike and fade. Oh, I'm being rushed by melee. Meh, jump pack.
It's over. I have the high ground.
You underestimate my power. All right. So that gets us updated on Sister Ash, correct?
Yes, that's everything.
All right. Well, we were talking about melee, so let's bounce over to the other sister, Sister Sanctuary.
I got really buff in the past couple of years. I increased my strength by a factor of 10.
I'm sorry, a factor of 10?
Well, not a factor of 10. I
Okay,
increased
cool.
it by 10. No, I wish I had 500 strength. That would be awesome.
It would be fucking amazing,
If the ship breaks down, you can get out and push.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that, but it does for her.
No, it doesn't even need propulsion. All I got to do was aim really well and just throw. And I got really expertly trained in some lore, some demon lore, some it may be a little forbidden, but we don't talk.
It's fine. The Dread Collegia, the Death Watch is fine with Forbidden Lore, and the Dread Collegia fucking loves it.
You know what? I am loving my forbidden lore daemon so much that not only am I trained, but I get that extra nice little +10 bonus, and then I just bank the rest of the experience for later. So I've got 250, I think. I don't know. I can't seem to find my my sheet anymore that used to have that information. Yeah, my workup for
Your character sheet is gone?
yeah. Well, not my character sheet,
the
but there
fourth
was the
bubble.
secondary sheet where you had kind of homebrew built the Sisters of Battle.
Oh,
complement.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that for you.
I know I was in Rites of Battle. Just don't remember the page number for the table. I went too high.
All right, Willow, I'm sending you a link in Discord that will have the cheat.
Roger, Roger.
There you go.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, there's Sister Battle Redux.
All right. So that was you. Let's go ahead and bounce over to Brother Alvarix
Oh,
with
hi.
with our other assault marine.
So I cranked my weapon skill up to but +10 because a couple missions I've been traumatized by some very crucial misses, and I'd like to stop missing, and I want to hit things. So we're gonna be rolling with weapon skill 69, which is
Nice.
really fun.
Nice.
And I also picked up Sure Strike, which isn't super amazing, but if I roll to hit and we get a body part, I can flip the die numbers, so you can turn a 37 into a 73 and choose the other body part. that represents. It's a prereq for something called precise blow, which means that I just choose wherever I want to hit on the body with no penalty, which is why I went for that, so I can just lop some heads off or, just literally disarm people.
Good habit.
And I also chose Right Place, Right Time, which is a specialist assault marine ability, and it gives me +10 to piloting rolls, and it also gives me +2 to initiative rolls if I'm using my jump pack in the first turn of combat.
Which
So-
you almost always will be.
Yes, and I've also been rolling heckin' low for initiative lately, so I figured I could take all the help I could get.
Right. All right. So we have caught up with our players. We have caught up with the characters. Everyone is bouncing and ready to go. I have had a good bit of coffee, so I'm going to call a quick 5.
I didn't get
Or-
to tell people what I got.
Oh. The Iron Hands wants to talk.
I got more
totally-
Iron Handsy. Okay, we can go to break.
No. No, I totally forgot. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. I got Hatred of Chaos Marines because, of course, I did. It just makes sense for my character. Also, it's just good to have. I got Toughness Increase just to make myself a little bit tankier, and then I got the Flesh is Weak 2 to make myself even further tankier. So I can take a fucking beating now. I have 23 soak in my torso, and then 20 everywhere else, which is just fucking bonkers.
Huh.
There you go. All right, we will be back in about 5 because I do have to run for that bio, and I would like to get something to drink as well. So we will catch you in just a bit.
Oh yeah.
And we are back. Thank you all for waiting. I do appreciate it. We had some fun discussion about exactly what a Tyranid is and exactly how many railgun cannons it would take to destroy them. But
Number does not exist.
number does not exist. That's because Tau are weenies. Skag, if you're in chat, that's directed at you specifically.
Ooh, shit.
Skag and I have a thing. And we also like banter about like him being a Tau weenie.
Yeah, I think you got caught Omni in the crossfire there.
Hey, that's fine. All right. Good to go. Good to go. So,
Oh my.
you are.
Fair warning. I got major storms coming. So if I just drop out, it's weather related stuff. But it should be fine.
How far away from you? How far away from you?
It looks like it's just south of us, so it looks like it'll probably start soon.
And so I'll probably get it in about 30 minutes.
Probably something like that.
Because I'm just up in Nashville.
That's fair.
Keep safe, y'all.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I went through the 2011 tornado. This will be nothing.
Nashville getting hit with tornadoes like every May is just it's a meme at this point.
I have
It's-
something scarier than a tornado. I'm just gonna put it in chat.
Is it a moose?
No, scary.
Is a room with a moose.
It's it's somebody's stats for 10th edition.
Oh God. Oh,
Certain Red Angel.
he's a little happy.
He's a big guy.
To you.
Oh yeah, we're in what is now affectionately called Dixie Alley.
I'm glad someone enjoys being in Dixie Alley because not me.
Oh no, I fucking hate it. I hate all
Okay.
these tornadoes.
Ugh, rough. All right. So you are poised on the brink of being sent out on another mission. I know a couple people wanted to interact with some of these NPCs, so since I left off and slighted Derek on the outro while I was panicking trying to hold in some coffee, let's bounce back around. So Forge Master Zeril
Yes.
is, I don't want to say a giant of a space marine because that's a done trope, but he's built like a fridge, and by that I mean like he's built by a bunch of people on Mars, probably for the lowest possible you know. But he's literally more cybernetics than man. You'd really be hard pressed to distinguish him from a dreadnought if you took everything away. And it's mostly width. He has not gone for the like weird Magos emulating tentacle hentai monster so much as has gone for the I will just be RoboCop if RoboCop was part of the defensive line. Or maybe moreover the defensive line crossed with like the angriest rugby player you can imagine.
I
So-
think I went to college with that guy.
Probably was an absolute sweetheart.
Absolutely.
Rugby players are so nice.
Oh yeah.
So I think Vraska probably reveres this guy pretty severely, given how much more machine he is than man.
I mean that as is his due.
Yeah.
Benny.
So I think that there would probably be some time amongst the years of indoctrination where Vraska would try to attend the Master of the Forge and see if he could assist him with any of the work that he has going on.
So let's paint that scene. So you are coming into the Master of the Forge's actual forge, uninvited. And this place is inhospitable, is a word that I would use. It's immediately obvious that this is not a place where the flesh can be sustained. The flesh is weak, and Forge Master Zeril is out to prove a point with his working conditions. How do you come? Do you come in chapter robes? Do you come in full armor? Do you come with hazmat gear? Like, what do you show up to as Forge in? You would know that this is a dangerous place. This would not blindside you.
So Vraska can't really live outside of his armor, so for all intents and purposes, he's always in it.
Okay.
Literally his entire, like, from the top of his six-pack up to, like, the top of his head, it's all metal. It's all
Okay.
replaced with bionics and tubes and stuff. So he's always in his armor. And I would, you know, not bearing weapons, obviously, but I would come in my full, like, as I would go anywhere else.
Okay. So as you show up, you go through the triple airlock. Purity seals dangling. These are thick purity seals too. You haven't seen the like really anywhere else. They're about 8 inches wide,
Oh my.
and they're overlapping, and they're just a curtain all the way down from the top of the airlock to the bottom of the airlock with pictoglyphs engraved in this thick, almost flesh-like substance that's transparent. It's almost like, if you want to put a name to it, it's almost like someone took what they make the black carapace out of and bleached it.
What's the black carapace?
So the black carapace is an augmentation that's implanted as the final stage of becoming a space marine. They skin you alive, and they subdermally insert this substance that not only reinforces your body and makes you tougher, but it also connects with your nervous system and has ports on it that connect with your power armor. This is why Space Marines are so terrifyingly fast in the armor that they carry, because it is linked to them neurologically through the black carapace. By the time you make it to this implantation stage, you're pretty well okay. Yeah, most Marines die, well, most neophytes die well earlier than this point. If you've made it here, you're probably golden. It's excruciating. It's terrible because for whatever reason, most chapters don't give you anesthetics while they do this to you.
I figured.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's no good reason, Dan. There's no good reason.
Pain is a virtue.
Pain is not a virtue.
Pain is not a virtue.
There's plenty of it out in the world. I prefer not to add more. But no, for the Space Marines, getting the Black Carapace is the mark of being a Space Marine. It's for most chapters, if I remember correctly, like almost all of them. Once you get your Black Carapace, then you're moved into the 10th Company. Marine chapters are divided into 10 companies. The 10th Company is your, normally, there's some exceptions, it's your newly inducted Space Marines, your scouts, and your reserves, if you are so lucky. The 10th Company... So you're only allowed to have 1,000 Marines in a chapter, but the 10th Company gets a little bit fucky on that, depending on how you count it, because scouts aren't full Marines. So your 10th Company could be, rather than, 100 Marines, it could be, oh, we've got 100 Marines in our 10th Company and 250 scouts. Well, why aren't they Marines yet? Well, we can't make them Marines until, when the other guys dies. But for all other purposes, they are, in fact, Marines. So the Raptors are, I don't want to say they're notorious for this, but the Raptors do run very heavy 10th companies. They don't really adhere to the Codex when it's dumb, but they do adhere to it when they have to. So their 10th company tends to be a little heavy with scouts that are, they've been scouts for, 10, 20, 30, 100 years. I'm not a Marine, I'm just a scout. Oh, sure you are, buddy. Sure you are. But the Black Carapace is seen as that, okay, now you are a Marine.
Oh.
Or at least a Scout Marine. But it is a synthetic kind of subdermal fibrous thing.
Sounds awful.
It's horrible. It's completely unnecessary that this is done without painkillers, and it's just a gruesome thing.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this papyrus that's made out of bleached Black Carapace has probably been stripped off of Misfortune
Dead
and Chaos
Marines?
Marines.
That would be a guess.
Respect it.
But you know what I'm describing as well, Derek, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're describing.
Okay. As long as someone does. As long as someone gets, that's... We've been in those places.
Yeah.
It's gross.
So yeah, I'm gonna walk past that airlock into the forge. Try to find my the forge master.
Okay. Your radiation sensors immediately start going off. The Geiger counter starts clicking. The spirit of the power armor informs you that conditions are hostile. Do not leave. By which it means the armor, which you've been trying to convince it for a while that bruh, it's not happening. But no, it's very much warning you that if you breach the seal on your armor, not gonna go well. Like helmet on, everything going. It is hot in there. It is so hot that softer metals would melt. Gold would be a liquid here. It is that blistering hot. The black paint that is over your armor begins to flake. The ceramite, where it's exposed, starts to turn a brick red color. Electrostatic discharges come up from the catwalk and crawl over your power armor, rippling across you. And the gases here, the toxic metals, the heavy metals that are impregnated in ceramite, and the inert gases used to restrain the atmosphere from bursting into fire would sear your lungs just on their own without the fact that they are that fucking hot. And you walk in here.
I think I kind of bask in it for a little bit, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Welcome to Detroit.
To Vraska, this is like a This is like literally exactly what his people are about, and he would instantly recognize that. Like, obviously, they're gonna make. If you're the master of the forge and you can do with it as you please, you're going to make it as your closest approximation of home, and so unbearably antithetical to biological life is we love that shit, because the flesh is weak, and we have to embrace the certainty of steel.
You do.
I would like to invoke my demeanor here. Uh,
Okay. Your demeanor definitely is invoked. What would you like to spend that pseudo fate point on?
so I am calculating. I am obviously very full of righteous fury, but it is. I don't want to use the word tethered, but it is focused. It is directed, and he is trying to figure out through the long list of pictographs, through the conditions in here, and through what he can very quickly read off of the master of the forge himself, the best way for him to approach this member of his own home legion chapter. Same thing for
That
us.
yeah, that is interesting. Let me look real quick what I want you to roll. Grab a character sheet real quick. I'm gonna grab yours, so I'm sorry if it flips around a little bit. I think I'm just double checking how this is phrased. I think you're going to be rolling scrutiny though, but let me just double check.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to roll scrutiny,
Oh, I'm not great at that, but it's,
but you are invoking your demeanor, so you can add 10 to your roll.
let's go.
Or I will let you hold it for a reroll. You have to choose now.
Let's see. Advantage is, well, what's my roll gonna be? I need to fucking do the math on that real quick. Okay, so I have perception of 41. It's gonna be cut in half because it's only basic, so that's 20. 20. If I'm making two rolls, the odds of that would be 1 in 20. Or no, it would be 1 in 10 times. Okay, I understand. I'm gonna take the reroll if I fail.
Yeah, the reroll is the better bet.
Oof.
All right, and the other one?
Let's go.
All right. With 1.5 degrees of success, that isn't just a success. That is in a challenging situation. You not only got your success, but you got a little bit more information.
Oh yeah.
This is a forge master in his element, in his domain. He knows the moment those airlocks opened. He doesn't turn because his cybernetic senses don't need him to turn, but he sees you, and he sees you step in and bask. You don't shy from it. You don't flee from it. You don't hesitate. You know no fear as a space marine. But also there's a respect for danger. But that's not what you're doing. You're not respecting the danger. You're enjoying the challenge. And seeing another Iron Hands does give him a good feeling. Like a brother. A brother of the Forge, as he notices the amount of cybernetics and tech marine bullshit you've got going on. So you can tell that he is right now open to being approached. But you also see he doesn't turn, not just because he doesn't have to, but because he has something else in front of him. There is a bolter rifle. Or rather, there is what used to be a bolter rifle. It is disassembled. And he is meticulously reassembling it. You don't know if it was maybe damaged or if there was a major change to it. Bolters are made mostly pretty standard. But they're made in factories. He's putting it back together, I would say by hand, but that would be a little bit of a misnomer because man's got, yeah, the clampy digits. He's doing this on his own. Maybe for the challenge? Maybe because the changes aren't factory standard? Maybe because the damage was too great? It's hard to say. But that's what you're getting. He is busy. He is focused on a task that you couldn't even imagine doing at this point in your life. But you do have a positive first impression. So what do you do with it?
I think I wait for him to finish. I don't impede on a master during his work. I stand there, embracing the suck, in cold, calm silence for absolutely as long as it takes. If I'm going to be standing there for a day, I'm going to be standing there for a day.
All right. It's not a day. It's about 18 hours, though.
Okay.
You don't know how long he's been working on this, but it takes him 18 hours to wrap up where he's at. As he does so, this bolter comes together. It is a stalker pattern bolter with maybe a few additions that are a little bit unorthodox. You see, as he is putting it together, there are slivers of this grayish green metal that are being intricately woven into the barrel. And when I say woven, I mean that pretty deliberately. These slivers of metal are being pierced through the ultra-hardened steel of the barrel and then twisted back out in an in and out motion. As he finishes up, his back straightens, and it doesn't really pop so much as there's the ratcheting sound and then a settling of weight on top of weight on top of weight. The gantry underneath him kind of creaks as he shifts. Without looking, that cold mechanical vox comes over. And he asks, you've been paying attention. He says,
Brother, what do you learn?
I learned that the forges that serve the Emperor's armies and arm the masses hold not a candle to the furnace of time and heat.
okay. I like it. I'm going to give you a bonus to your roll, but you're still going to have to roll. And we're going to have it be...
Could I do an awareness test to see what he was doing?
Give me a logic. Well, yeah, give me an awareness test.
Okay. I get to add +10 because of heightened senses.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Oh no! Fate point time.
All right.
Ah, fuck. That's devastating.
Well, you would actually be getting a benefit here. Because it's not just heightened senses, it's also the senses from your helmet, so that would push it further, which would get you just a bare success.
Let's go.
I've done the math.
Thank you.
Everyone's been off just a little bit on their perception and awareness rolls. It's fine.
Oh, we forget to account for the helmet.
And other things, but it's fine. I got you. So you bear pass. He will reply that time is the most important part. He says,
Yes. Time. Time is the enemy. and our greatest ally. None can defeat time. Not even the Xenos. Not even...
And he leaves off there, thinking better of saying that.
Yeah, I think we just kind of like stand for an awkward moment in understanding of what he was about to say.
Just being depressed bros.
Well, also about to commit heresy. So he continues.
Brother Vraska. How does the Dread Collegia suit you?
Never before have I found such a safe harbor for knowledge, such a free market for experience. I believe that what has been established here is probably the only of its kind throughout the entire Imperium of Man. Say it is remarkable would be to sell it short.
One of his servo arms comes out and clamps over your bicep through your armor. It's the arm that is silver on your Death Watch kit. And he asks you,
So, brother, tell me what you know of the Xenos.
and he takes you away for a debriefing.
All right.
He wants to know what went down. He has the after-action report from Romeus. He has probably had after-action reports from other people that were around, like Brother Elric, who is also a Xenos expert, especially Necrons. But he wants the on-the-grounds view from another Iron Hand. And you've impressed him at least enough that he'll listen to you. And considering him, not a bad place to start.
Best case scenario.
Yeah?
I feel accomplished.
Hey, not bad. Dan, anyone that you want to talk to as Sister Ash? Also, are you okay? You've kind of been sinking slowly down.
Oh yeah, my my chair
I've just been watching you slowly disappear.
getting like pretty comfortable here.
That's fine.
This is like the full recline of my chair.
Okay.
But I will sit back up. Oh man,
If you
I was
need
a
a
little-
moment, I can cycle to someone else.
I'm a little torn.
Mm-hmm.
Because I recognize that Ash would most certainly get along best with Ulrich. But I think knowing her, it would be more... I feel like she's going to like privately just like scope out people for a while before she like tries to engage with them.
Okay, let's go with that. So you're scoping people out. So you're skulking through the corridors of
Absolutely.
the Iron Bastion and getting here and there. Let's actually zoom to an interesting point. You, as Space Marines of the Death Watch and the Dread Collegia, you've been all over the place. You've spent even some time at Watch Fortress Ariok. Obviously, for a lot of reasons, it's the Death Watch main fortress. So even if you are part of the Dread Collegia, you come back there from time to time. One time, while you are skulking, roll awareness for me.
Okay. Would this be an apt time to invoke my studious demeanor?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it would be.
Awareness button, where you are. There we go. And then, sorry, I'm still figuring this out. Mechanically, do I need to do anything with that after I click the button? Since I'm
gonna-
invoking demeanor?
Invoking your demeanor, you can either re-roll or add +10 to it. You have to decide beforehand.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. I'll hold it as a reroll.
You hold it as a reroll. Okay.
Of course.
So the reroll.
Yep.
Wait. Well, that's
Well.
fine too.
It works. Haha.
That wasn't factoring in your heightened senses.
It was not.
However, invoking a demeanor is free. Just roll with it.
Sounds good to me.
So you see, as you are skulking, deliberately, you said, checking on people, creeping around. You are in Watch Fortress Ariok, which is echoingly hollow for the most part. It is enormous. We're talking, it is kilometers deep, wide, and long. It is an enormous structure. It is a floating city. And there's maybe in this whole structure, total 20,000 souls. So it's almost a catacomb. It's creepy as hell. Even for
fuck.
it is not dusty as fuck. Thank you. There are servitors. Actually, it is dusty. Most of the servitors are dead.
The one thing they have to go.
You
Really reminds me about a post I saw recently of Star Trek. The Enterprise is fit to have like 15,000 people on it, and it's only really got like 1,000 or two at most. So the whole thing's just got to be filled with these liminal spaces of empty
Right?
hallways and dusty catacombs.
that are just
that's what this-
completely the same.
It's a self-cleaning ship, though. See, like, it auto cleans itself.
Well, Watch Fortress Ariok is not quite that. You will actually, as you are wandering around, you would notice that around the Inquisitor's Tower, which is this giant brass and gold, like, I forget the name for it. Damn it! It's the Onion Towers in Russia.
The basilicas?
I don't know.
Spire? No.
There's a particular name for that type of spire, but you know what I'm talking about. The basilicas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the Inquisitor's Tower is one of those, made of brass and gold. All around that is fairly clean. Outside of that, yeah, there's a bit of dust. And more than once, you've come across a body.
Does it look like they just died on their own, or some form of?
Well, only one of them seems like it had a sort of violent end, but for the most part, it looks like a human chapter serf wandered off the beaten path and literally starved to death. And they were unremarked and unknown. The Empire ground on.
I just kind of like shake her head in immense disappointment.
So as you're creeping around, Sister Ash does notice a flicker from one of the passing corridors, and the intensely faintest scuff of a foot. It's obviously someone trying to be quiet, and obviously trying to hide, and they're good at it. And I'm going to give you this as a bonus, because you did get the degree of success. You understand that someone that is that silent through these dead corridors, there was nothing for them to make an accidental sound on, and no accidental way for them to pass in front of light, such that it would cast a shadow towards you. It's deliberate.
My curiosity is immediately invoked.
Okay. What do you do with it?
Without abandoning caution, I am going to move in that direction. This feels like if it is deliberately drawing my attention, then there's one of two things: either someone else is watching, or it's a test. So I will, without, she's the kind of person to be sneaky for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to continue now that she has a reason.
Okay. So you're gonna keep sneaking?
Yes, and I am going to approach the area where I heard and saw them.
Well, let me see a sneaking roll.
Yeah. Sneaking time. It's the first one of these I've done to this game. This is a silent move, right?
Yeah, that does not bode well. Whenever you say things, this is the first of these rolls I've done.
My the other actual play I was doing, I couldn't roll above a 4 on a d10.
Ugh.
It was
Or what is that? Spliced?
yeah, that was for Splice. That was I struggled mightily.
Shout out to our
Let's-
homeboy Alec.
Shoutouts
Let's-
to Alec. Love you.
Let's have some better rolls.
Oof.
Wait,
Stub
wait,
your
toe.
wait. Do I have anything to give me a bonus here? Nah, I don't, do I?
Your Vox opens up and the GoldenEye theme starts to play, but you realize this is self-defeating because it's playing on a loudspeaker.
Da-da-da-da!
And then the Jaws theme starts playing. You're like, wait, no. Dan it. Dan it. Hold on. I think there might be something. Let me check it. Nope. Sorry.
No, yeah.
Life is hard.
Life is hard and you are loud.
Not loud, but you are like a 7-foot monster of a woman just stalking through an empty catacomb space Hulk. So, yeah.
My dysphoria nightmare.
Like a
Oh, God.
just like
Sorry?
just like the slightest stutter step that she knows is like deafening to the people to like someone listening for it, and she just like closes her eyes like,
Fuck.
So, let's expand this a little bit. You end up playing cat and mouse with this other sound. It's just out of your view. It's always around the next corner. It's always behind you when you think you've gotten behind it. This is another stalker. This is another hunter of prey. But you get the impression that this is not adversarial so much as if it could be given an emotion, playful almost.
yeah, it's a game. I feel it.
It's a game. And you are losing. You are
Yeah.
only losing barely though. Like you are just like there's a moment where you turn a corner and you see a literal tail end of a robe. Like 9 square inches just dart behind a corner. And then it's gone. This plays out over the course of hours. This is, at this point, you're probably pretty invested. From the sounds of it, Ash is just, oh, I'm gonna get this fucker. Ah, fuck. And it goes on until you've chased this person through corridor after corridor, and it comes to a dead end. They're obviously past a door. Now, they haven't taken any other doors. They haven't darted behind any sort of protection or forced you to come out into the open. But you know if you open that door, it's going to expose you. So what does she do? What do you do? Do you open that door and go through? Or do you leave it?
Is the door at the end of the hallway? There's like no vent or anything like above it that could like circumvent it.
I mean, go ahead and throw awareness with a minus 20?
Okay. How's this gonna go? Oh, come on.
Wait, is that with the...
Oh, wait. What are there are bonuses that I don't remember to add to this.
You have enhanced senses, which is plus 10, which I already factored in. Is there something that I haven't factored in?
I don't think so. That was the thing that I was thinking about. Because, yeah, that's...
Let me look at your character sheet real quick. Sister Ash, over here.
I'm learning.
I was about 2 seconds away from just being like, yeah, the thing. You sense good.
The thing with the,
You do
with the
sense good.
stuff. Oh, I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah, that's all me. I'm
It's
sorry.
you.
Oh. There might be one thing.
Oh.
I have to check.
No, it's not that. Screen test. I'm just glad I'm getting my sneak on.
Nope. Nothing I can find. So you don't find any additional ways past.
Okay. Point one.
Point one.
All right.
How does a 0.0 break?
That is a success.
Cool.
Okay. I want to check the door. I want to
Okay.
see if there's anything like trapped otherwise, or that kind of stuff.
Oh, so you're checking it for a trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even like not even like a dangerous trap per se, but just like this is a test.
Okay. One more awareness roll. We'll keep it with a plus 10.
Okay.
That's it.
Aha!
Oh.
Ah!
So as you are going over this door, you notice that there is something just a little bit off right before you touch the door. There's almost a little bit of a static charge. Not like a spark that jumps to your hand, but that hair-raising, tickling, prickling feeling. You realize it's not an electrical charge, though. It's what you can feel of a power field on the other side of the door. So power fields are something that weapons are surrounded by. They're a vibrating force of destruction. They shear through bulkheads. They
So
punch
with
through ceramite armor. And you are close enough to one that you can feel it through an airlock door in a watch fortress that is a military installation in space.
Huh. I'm trying to decide whether or not I think that is now a threat to me, or if this room is holding something extremely dangerous that maybe I'm not supposed to know about.
Power fields like that would be inactive on anything stored, unless for whatever reason they can't be turned off.
So if it's on, the thing that it is coming from is armed, essentially. Ooh. Part of me wants to really open this door, but Ash is not that impulsive. Do I think I can find my way back here
Oh yeah, absolutely.
with like relative ease, right?
You're a space marine. You remember every turn that you took.
Fucking phenomenal. Can I leave something behind to gather information? No, I don't have that ability. Where's the? Wow, sorry. I'm just like
Take your time.
scouring my abilities for.
Do you need me to come back to you? Because I can jump to another player. We can leave it on the cliffhanger.
I'm not sure there's anything else I can do here besides either pull the trigger and go in or walk away. Ah, hell, it's more interesting. Let's go in. Just very gently peeking the door.
Okay. As you pull that door and just peek it, you peek your head around, and you are eye level with a power sword pointed straight at your head by veteran brother Haggith. He is smiling, but it is a rueful smile.
Is that arm? You just happy to see me?
The grin widens a little bit. A surprisingly light voice. Tenor range. For a Space Marine, that's pretty high. He shakes his head and he says, "Sister, I expected better from a raptor. Should have fell back and sit in ambush. Surprised. What made you open the door?"
Wanted to know who it was.
Curiosity. I can respect that. Come find me if you want another hunt sometime. He drops the power field, saunters off. As he walks away, the door opens more, and you see that this entire cargo area is just a giant savanna. There are figures and creatures moving in the distance, and various scrub and brush. And almost casually, he passes behind a tree and melts into the background.
Just under her breath, she goes, "Fuck, that's so cool."
All right. Well, let's bounce to the other sister, Sanctuary. What are you up to? Who are you harassing? Chasing
Alright, so
through
I've been-
corridors.
I've been thinking about this. And like my first inclination is to go like bring libations to Alric and listen to retell stories to each other about the glory for the Empire. Above all else, hint hint, wink wink. That's my demeanor. But I've actually got a better idea. I think. Well, I've got a different idea. I don't know if it's a better idea. I'm gonna go harass Prognosticator Triel.
That's kind of my second guess for you. I'm not terribly surprised.
I almost went with Voss.
That-
But I was afraid the things that I want to talk with the Prognosticator about would just like make Voss want to stab me with his Chaos Sword.
I mean, Voss is... Yeah. Fell was the other one that I expected you to go harass, honestly.
Wait, I meant Fell, not Voss.
Okay.
I meant Fell, yeah. I almost went with Fell.
Yeah. Fell's an asshole.
Yeah. But like, okay, so Prognosticator Triel he's a spooky boy. He's a spooky boy. And unbeknownst, well, hinted at to my Slaughter siblings is I've got some spooky stuff going on. I've got some spooky stuff. So I want to approach Triel to hopefully understand more, maybe get some more insight, maybe some more control if possible, though doubtful.
Okay. So where do you try and run into Triel? Do you catch him at the Sanctorum? Do you catch him in the hallways, at mess, while he is praying to the various Silver Skull idols? Do you catch him in the latrine?
Well, I mean,
Oh my god, I just got a really funny
I
visual,
mean,
sorry.
no, not the latrine. Actually, praying to the Silver Skull idols. I figure a holy time is probably the best time to approach. I mean, it's a terrible time to approach anybody, but the best the best time to approach them about the topic at hand. The Leafs lost in overtime. Fuck.
Yep.
I'm not surprised.
Yep.
Rip the dream.
Look,
Stupid fucking team. Anyway.
look. I've been a Leafs fan since like 03. I know. I've had a disappointing past 20 years.
It's okay. One day they'll show up to play a game. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to approach him when he's praying. I'm not going to be like, yo, what up, Triel? While he's praying, but I'm gonna like stand a respectful distance away as he does things. As he does his things.
Okay. Every major watch fortress has a shrine towards the Primarchs, the Emperor, and any chapter that has ever set up at any watch station is allowed to set up their own, like, reclusive shrine. So you can tell a lot about a fortress by who's been there, and Prognosticator Triel's been here a while, so he's obviously set up a tribute towards his own chapter. If it was him that did it, maybe it was someone else. Hard to say. Silver
Quick
Skulls.
question.
Quick answer.
Where is his altar in relation to either a possible Battle Sisters shrine or the Emperor?
Pretty distant from both. It's actually kind of off in a less used corner of the Iron Bastion. The Silver Skulls aren't really a big chapter. They aren't known for a lot, and they generally don't get out towards Jericho Reach, so it's little used but lovingly taken care of, we'll say.
I am going to attempt to curry favor by praying alongside him to his chapter.
That is an interesting thing to do. I'm gonna... Oof. Do you have lore Astartes?
I believe so. Let me double check. I do.
I believe every Marine does. You're gonna roll that at minus 40?
Uh-oh.
Like, the internal practices of worship are kind of hard, and then it's an obscure chapter to begin with. So... Taking a ball.
What's a Space Marine?
Oh my gosh. Don't tell me that.
So,
A negative 8.5 is actually not as bad as you'd think, considering the penalty. It's pretty bad, though. It's bad enough for it to be a faux pas. Would you like to
shit.
do something about that?
I love the Golden Skulls. I mean, wait, what?
I should say that when I mentioned pray alongside him, what I meant was just like not attempt to engage in any kind of esoteric practices, but just kind of kneel with my head bowed.
Okay,
I'm
so,
not aiming to try to do anything specific. I'm trying more to show solidarity and to make a good faith gesture
Okay,
without
so just like
assuming
a moment of
knowledge.
silence. Okay, cool.
Yes.
No roll needed for that. My apologies.
Whew,
So
whew.
you quietly observe his obeisance to the Silver Skulls chapter, and there is palpable power rolling off of this man. He is a very powerful psyker, a very adept in a couple of different disciplines. Generally, just someone that you can actually notice. And in the weird thing that you've got, go ahead and roll science.
I was about to ask actually. All right, any kind of modifier?
Let me double check. I have to track it down. Plus 30?
Plus 30. Whew. Specifically because of my thing.
No, because of how powerful he is.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's a 6.
Okay, 6 degrees of success. This is maybe not the most powerful psychic individual you've stood in the presence of, but as far as mortals go, he's in the top 10, maybe top 15 on a bad day.
Sure, he's mortal. Damn.
He's a very old psyker, and he has put a lot of effort into what he does. He really does two things. He knows shit, and he's psionic. That's really what he's good at.
Fair.
It's a cold sort of sense. There's a liminal kind of argent fire that traces over everything around him and pushes back some of that darkness that you deal with. There's an idea that not only him, but his chapter is dedicated to that sort of sacrifice in a way. Like, this is a person that would stand between hell for any of his brothers or sisters and wouldn't hesitate to do it, and would probably do a fucking good job.
So it just outright pushes back the darkness. Is
Just
I'm going
a
to tend
little
to
bit.
noticeably.
Noticeably, but a little bit.
I'm actually I'm going to break the moment of silence like as soon as I notice it, and just kind of be like, how are you doing that? Like, I am surprised enough by his ability to do that I forget this moment of silence I'm having and just stand in awe and just like, how are you doing that?
He doesn't know what you're talking about. There's a moment of frustration as his brow knots as you interrupt his prayers. And then there's a moment of puzzlement as he runs through all the things that he could be doing and he doesn't know what he's doing. Slowly, he gets up, and he's not a not fit person. But definitely not on the level that you are as far as raw physicality is concerned. You know,
He's an aging boxer. Power's the last thing to go. He's out of shape, he's winded, but he's still strong.
He's got a very casual kind of calculated grace. It's that it's that old master vibe where you're like, oh, he may not be fast or he may not be strong, but he's seen every single trick in the book. I'm not.
This motherfucker will still kill me.
Yep. He will make it embarrassing. But he's also not really, doesn't seem like a combative type of individual. He's draped in robes, chapter trappings, etc. Gets up. He's, I mean, I wouldn't say average for a space marine, because I don't know that there's really an average space marine other than an ultramarine. Boring. But definitely not one that catches your eye in any real regard other than psionically.
So he doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I want to ask him, like, because I was like, oh shit, oh fuck, I kind of fucked up. I let something slip out that I don't really like to let slip out. And especially dealing with the nature of what it is, I just want to ask him, like, if you look at me, if you really look at me, do you see anything?
Oh, did not expect that question. I have to go looking at some shit now.
Because if we can see it, then I want to talk about it. But if he doesn't see it, which I expect that he does, but if he doesn't see it, then I'm just going to switch tack and do something else with him still.
Let me see what his powers are. We've got...
So I've had a conversation with Rameus, and Rameus knows,
Yeah.
but he may not.
Phew.
Yay, I threw the DM for a loop. I've never done that before.
I'm shooing not just because I'm thrown for a loop, because I didn't expect to have to throw this out there, but also he has a base psychic rating of 7. And he can do a lot more than that. I'll just put it that way. All your psychic powers top out generally at about 8 or so. Some of them go to 10. Most of it doesn't matter. He can easily hit 11. That's not on the charts.
This shit goes all the way to 11?
Well, I mean, we
Ours
had
goes up to 11.
Yeah, it's Psyker. It's okay. So we're gonna go down the line here. I'm curious though, because there's a chance that this gets fucky wucky.
That's my MO, baby. Let's go.
Nope, no fucky wucky.
Oh.
Didn't roll doubles, so that was really the only thing that was like, maybe.
Well, when you say fucky wucky, do you mean fucky wucky fun or fucky wucky? Oh no.
It would be really fucking bad for someone with a psychic rating of 11 to fuck up their psychic roll. Like,
Fair.
the level of fucky would be very wucky. So he stands up to full and says, "Look at you. Rameus did ask me to check in on you. If you will allow, sister." And he
By
raises...
all means.
He slowly raises a hand and webs it out, kind of holding it at you, and doesn't quite close his eyes. They just go unfocused and the lids drop a little bit. And you've never felt understood like this before outside of a religious visitation by the Emperor. He immediately knows the 3 strongest emotions you're feeling. He knows the level of your psychic powers, your mental and physical well-being. He also knows all of your feelings. He can get a +10 to any fellowship test he makes against you. He knows more about your physical state, even beyond that. All of your old wounds, every single injury you've taken all the way back to when you were first taken as a sister. He knows everything about any psychic potential you have, knows how much insanity points you have, any addictions, any madness, any corruption, knows the detail of every psychic activity you've done recently, also knows anything about any falsification of your aura. Literally every single detail of you is available to him from now until every moment of your literal being. He sees it in a handful of seconds. He also knows exactly where you are, knows exactly where you've been in the past month or so, like down to he could follow your tracks all the way back. You are intensely understood by this man.
But does he know the color of your underwear?
Well, the real question is, does he know why
Does he
kids
know that I'm
love
not wearing
cinnamon? Not to bring some levity to it, but like getting back on it, you are absolutely understood by this man, and the reaction on his face isn't pity, it isn't contempt, it isn't abhorrence. It's just compassion and understanding. 100%. He sees what you are, he sees what you've been through, he sees where you're at right now, and he knows the hell that you live in. And he doesn't pity it. He just deeply comprehends it. He understands it, not on a way that like, oh man, that sucks, but he understands it like you understand you.
Finally, somebody who gets me.
Yeah, I just want to give him a hug. Like I legitimately want to give him a hug. Like I want to give him a hug, but Sanctuary wants to give him a hug. That must be so nice.
So
Seems-
if you do make that motion, that hand that he's got out will just gently grip a shoulder and he will nod slowly. I
That's
think
enough.
I know what you mean. What can I do for you?
That's the question, isn't it?
Isn't it
put-
always?
You push it back just by virtue of being there. Can you teach me?
I'm gonna have to roll something. And well, actually, we'll just make it easy. I want you to roll. What was it? Balls.
Sign of science?
No, nope. This is a much more human one.
Ooh.
Scrutiny.
Scrutiny. Plus, minus anything?
Do you have it trained?
I do not.
Then it will be at half of your value.
Meaning,
So, what is your? I think scrutiny is fellowship in it, or perception.
I believe it's perception.
it's perception.
So you're gonna have to roll under half of your perception. So, Godspeed. Okay.
Yeah, no. I rolled literally double my perception.
Wow. Well done.
Thank you.
So what Sanctuary misses in this moment that we'll let the audience kind of see is this is a question.
Before you do that,
Sure.
I want to spend a fate point on it and try to re-roll.
All right, go ahead.
Goodbye, my fate point. Let me move that back down. Scrutiny. Let's go. 54.
So what Sanctuary misses, the audience gets to see, is there's a flash of literally thousands of people asking similar questions for Prognosticator Triel. And he's a librarian. This is not something you can learn to become. It is a potential that you have. It's asking, can I fly? Can I just flap my wings and fly to a bird? And the bird knowing deep down that no, that freedom will never be yours. You will never have that. Prognosticator Triel is old, and he's had this question asked many, many times by many vainglorious and hopeful individuals, and many honest and sincere champions of the Emperor. And it's never hurt to be asked that like it just hurt now.
I made perception my dump stat specifically because of what we're dealing with now.
Yep. Yep.
Ugh.
Enjoy the bitterness.
I am eating bitter.
So, Brielle says, I will teach you what I can. There are things that can be learned, and there are protections the Emperor can bestow. And he takes that hand that's gripping her shoulder, and he turns it into that let's walk together kind of arm on the other shoulder, taking you back to the sanctuary. And that's where we'll clip that one for Sister Sanctuary.
No!
V,
No.
who are you harassing?
Veteran brother Donald Haggoth.
Okay. So you're chasing down the one that chased Ash around. Love it. Mm-hmm. How do you pin down our master of the hunt, our champion of the wilds, and our park ranger par excellence of peril?
Oh, I'm going to hunting grounds.
Okay, you go to the hunting grounds.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, there are many different hunting grounds. Where do you end up?
Particularly a Necron-focused one, if possible.
Okay, great. So you start typing in on one of the cogitators, the hunting grounds, and you're scrolling through, looking over xenotypes and xenoforms, and a lot of this stuff it's really, really complicated. Do you have lore Xenos? Should. As a member of the Death Watch, you do.
I probably do.
So I want you to roll it with Necrons or a tough one. We'll make that a -20.
Where's my lore button?
It's on the right-hand side.
Oh, there it is. Actually, I have Astartes, Deathwatch, Imperium, and War.
You don't? Oh, okay. Well, never mind. You have no fucking clue. So you're scrolling through there, looking desperately,
Big words.
and a servo skull whirs over from out of a cabinet. And in a scratchy, vinily voice, it asks you, Brother, can I help you?
I think so. I am conflicted. I've had some important missions, and I've not felt like the weapon of the Emperor that I should be. I want to improve.
The skull is just hovering there, waiting for a question.
How do I improve?
The servo skulls aren't really that bright. You're asking something that's outside of its scope, so it bobs up and down a little bit. Clarify.
Do I have, can I just walk into the hunting zone?
That's a massive portion of the fortress. Yeah, you could walk anywhere there.
Am I equipped?
Oh, you're packing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Is it like, so there's Xenos released in there, but also are there like any like simulations?
Not in the hunting grounds, no. That's actually one of the things that Veteran Brother Haggoth, not really fond of simulations, doesn't believe it really teaches anything.
Okay.
Secondarily, one of the reasons why Veteran Brother Haggoth started the hunting grounds was not just as a way to learn, but also as a way to bring esprit de corps. Like, there's the fighting spirit that has to be maintained. And part of that is hunting down Xenos and killing them
Well,
recreationally.
I tell the skull,
Yeah.
I'm going in. And I check my ammunition, rev my chainsword,
Vroom vroom.
and I'm walking in.
All right. So, you begin walking into the hunting grounds,
Yeah.
looking for Necrons.
Yes.
All right. So, you are traversing some definitely interesting areas, some places that are
The creepy music's on.
desolate, maybe a little bit unusual. You know enough that the Necrons don't really habitate living worlds. So you're stalking down the most hostile, alien, dangerous areas of the hunting grounds.
I can't wait to catch 39 Tauroses in here and never release them. That's a Pokemon reference.
I know. I got you.
Okay. Should I stop and listen for anything that might be around, very aware that as much as I might want to kill something, there might be something in here that might want to kill me just as well.
Things do escape the hunting grounds. It has been known to happen.
So, awareness?
Give me... Yeah, go ahead and throw some awareness, Beaky Boy. And that's going to be with plus 25 for you.
Okay. Do I already get my plus 15?
That's factoring that in.
Okay.
10 from Space Marine Senses, 15 from Beaky Boy stuff.
25. Whoop. Son of a bitch.
How badly did you fail? Okay. Wow, I'm shocked. So, you spend some time in the hunting grounds, wandering around, kind of aimlessly, searching for some sort of prey, clearing the area, making sure everything's good, being tactical, being good Beaky Boy about it, Raven Guard, all that jazz. Good stuff. And as you're reconnaissing, you feel something change.
Something.
It's subsonic. It's heavy. It's pushing the air. There's a presence down the tunnels, and it's large.
Oh.
We're talking, you would say it's large.
Oh.
And it's maybe the word you'd use is stalking, but not stalking you. Just moving purposefully, prowling, predatorial.
I'm gonna conceal.
Okay, give that conceal roll. Let's see what you do.
Okay, I get a reroll on these, so.
Oh,
Oh, son of a bitch.
you're gonna need it then.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 6.
So you fade into the shadows. You hide yourself incredibly well. You give absolute credit and due to the Raven Guard. And you are one with that inky darkness down there. And the presence comes closer. And it's, as you're paying attention to it, you start to hear it. It is loud in a way that is really troubling to you. It's loud in a way that most things aren't. What I'm saying is, it doesn't make a lot of noise in the normal audible like sound frequencies, but it's got the subwoofers turned way to max. There is a rumbling, growling animal sound to its movements, but there's also something horrifyingly mechanical. It's like a slumbering engine slowly waking as it's moving towards you.
Because
Abs-
Tomb Scorpion or something. Oh god.
Absolutely pushing towards you, and you can feel the reverberations in the corridor as you're down here. You've got a moment to flee, or you can stay in your concealment and see what it is and hope it doesn't see you. You're very well hidden.
I'm gonna stay.
You're going to stay?
Yeah.
Okay. That presence keeps coming. And there's something malevolent in the air. There's a sense of prickling rage. And this hulking form moves through the corridor. And it passes by where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Opens a door. And goes through into one of the hunting ground main areas. And as it does so, you catch sight of what it is. Deathwatch Terminator Black Shield adorned with purity ribbons.
Oh shit.
Brother Alric is going hunting.
This is my chance to sneak up on him. Wait, that's a terrible idea.
I mean,
Do it.
do you have a second character in mind?
Does he have a power fist? Am I about to be torsoed?
I mean,
Squunch.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna come out of hiding. Brother Alric.
do you just like, surprise,
No.
Space Marines?
Brother Alric, I wasn't aware that you were hunting today. It's good to see you.
With a subsonic whir, that ancient Terminator arm pivots, and that hound-like head sights down on you.
Oh shit.
And a rumbling, sinister voice comes out.
Are you hunting today, brother?
Yes.
Good. Follow me.
Ooh. Yes, please.
All right. And he takes you off into the hunting grounds. And I think that is a great place to wrap up for the night. So I know
Nice.
some people are looking forward to Vigigames. And I think I have given my players enough of anxiety for the day. So we are good to go, I think.
I am going to I'm going to make it a dedicated goal of mine to prove Triel wrong.
Okay.
To show him that I have what it takes.
All right.
I realized
To
too
learn.
late that I could have used a fate point on that point, -0.1. But I also was like, in the
You'd have
spirit
had to
of
have re-rolled.
it. Yeah.
You have to announce beforehand if you want the +10.
Yep.
Isn't that a motherfucker?
It absolutely is. It's good though. I hope everyone had a great time. I hope you've
Absolutely.
enjoyed getting a little bit of the trappings of what's going on with the Dread Collegia, and you get a feeling of that kind of paranoid conspiracy going on. We will probably lead off next session with figuring out what's going on with our Blood Angel brother. And then we will probably move to getting a mission going on the ground and blowing up some heretics, killing some Xenos, and seeing where things go from there.
I should have used every fate point I had available.
But would you really have wanted the difference? Isn't this the sweeter situation?
Let me get back to you on that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and supporting us. Thank you for the raids, everyone that showed up, the followers, the gifted subs, love it all. We will be raiding into Willow once she is set up and running. So if you want to dash off and get that done, we will go to a break screen, and we will see you all next Friday, same time. We'll get the party rolling, and we will see some more of Darker Stars and their exploits with the Dread Collegia. Thank you all, and good night.
Night night.